This is the Motovation Podcast, hosted by Laurie Joy Kingwell and Krissy Vann. That's me. And we're taking you on a little off-roading.
And every single week, we're going to be joined by our dope friend, Richelle from True Grit Moto.
Woo! Hey, I floss.
And every week, we are going to ask each other stupid questions, and we're going to answer them. And why, you may ask? Because we can. All right, this is your Motovation
Off-road edition.
Off-road.
Back to ridiculousness. Okay, this is guaranteed almost happened, if not happened to you. When you're venting to somebody over text and you accidentally or just about accidentally send it to the person, because you know how that person's on your frame of mind, and you'll like put their name in or just about or anything. Has it ever happened to you that you've actually sent it by accident?
Where you're venting into a text message?
Yeah, you know how you're like, Jesus, what the fuck was going on with Sally?
You're probably talking shit about the person that you were like.
Oh, and it's like a voice
and then you
note
send
type
it
of
to
thing?
the person.
A text message, a voice, whatever it is, and then you accidentally send it to fucking Sally.
One time I was actually talking to your dog, and I said he had a little stinky bum, and he was a cutie poo poo, remember? And it totally sent to somebody. Do you remember me showing you that?
That was so funny. She was making it was a voice note. It's dictation
by accident,
and she happened, and it was like, "Oh, you little poopy bum, I love you."
He'd stick his little bum on my foot, on my leg.
I just noticed I was dictating this conversation with your dog Marley. It was so
I saved it because it was so fucking funny.
Yeah.
But I think that's the only time that's ever happened. Thank gosh.
But you sent that to me purposefully.
I did, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you mean okay. No, then I don't.
Yeah,
think
this
I
is
have,
like accidentally, where you're like, when you after it sends.
Mine happened so long ago. Like as soon as you sent, so we always send these questions a bit in advance so our brains can percolate. And as soon as Laurie sent it, it's like I can still remember the feeling of the moment because you just feel I like a lesson was learned that day. Honestly, that's how clear, and we know how shit my memory of past is. But exactly that was like in an argument with a friend. It was high school. It was T9 texting. So the worst part is I would have had more time to think about it because it's like T. But regardless,
for one word takes an hour.
And I like sent it to her, and I remember getting like the message back right away, being like, "Is that for me?" And then that sinking moment of realization, and like at that point, what do? Like I picked up the phone and called, and you just have to own it and wear it, but you can't take back how that felt for the person. So, needless to say, in my adult life, I genuinely make it a practice to not talk shit about people to other people, and it really mitigates that happening to you.
Yeah.
I think there's like talking shit about people, and I know that's like a fine line. And when you're like venting or being like, this is super frustrating, when it's one thing if it's you're like, what a bitch. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
but there's those moments where you're just like speaking in frustration because we're so apt to be using like text and stuff like that over the phone. It could be somewhat like a bit of a throwaway comment. Not that they're still not important to have an awareness around it. Not because you'll accidentally send it, but just in general, right? Of like how flippantly are you venting? But yeah, it's like those moments where, because we use text so much and we're so quick to just send off out of habit. I've never done it. I've just about done it when it came to a voice memo. It was about someone that I worked for, and I was doing it with a coworker. The coworker was really frustrated with our employer, and I was making a voice memo back. And luckily, if I would have, in much of it, I'm like speaking quite kindly about the coworker, but I'm acknowledging that like, we know this about her. This is frustrating. Right. This is a part of her personality. Like this, but I'm being very clear about some of the things that are very difficult about her to work for. And I was like, punched in the name to like, because I had cut and pasted it. And then just before I sent it, I was like, oh my God, I've put her name in there. So not only would it have been me saying some like harsh, or not harsh, but some very like direct perspectives of, it would have also outed the other person that was frustrated with them, right?
Right.
And it was like the last second that I was like, oh my gosh, I was so close. It was the last
so
second
happy
I
that you were
noticed
able to
it.
catch it and not go through the shame you just made me
The
relive.
power of proofreading.
Oh, shame, Krissy. My friend, it happened to her as an employer, and she got the text from obviously one of her employees. It was just like shit talking her. She called her up and was like, "There's something you want to talk to me about."
Oh, that's a
She was
fun
like,
position to be in, though. Like, it's shit that had happened to you, but like, oh, you would be like, all right, buckle up.
Yeah. She was more just feeling like, why not just tell me? Like, I've asked you outright. It's those situations, especially when you're like, is that work for you? Does that not work for you? Is there anything you want to share? And they're like, no, that works great. And then they go behind and they're like, you know what she asked of me? It was like one of those situations. So she was just like, what? You set me up for failure, man. Yeah. So, but there's been a few times that I've been close and just about been like, ooh, Nelly.
Ooh,
It's hard to that's a one to just like send that and feel that. I'm so thankful that
a lot of people have done that.
Oh man.
So easy. When you think of how brain works in the moment, it's like, oh,
people get
you're
caught all the
thinking
time
about the
doing
person
shit like that too, right?
Sorry.
I've seen it where I've seen it all the time where it's in opposite ones where the people get like caught cheating. Because like you can see different things and somebody sends something off. You know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, God, you look so good last night in that Calvin Klein underwear. I love your wiener. And then, you know, and you're like, wait, what?
These are the texts you send, clearly.
Yes.
You're like, I want to hear it clap. I want to hear that ball clap.
Love
when your
ween.
big old bow clapping on my cheeks. I can't even say it. Yeah, that's because that happens. People get caught. I hear about that more often than I hear about people, you know, accidentally venting, which is, I guess that's kind of funny, right? It's like there's benefits and minuses. You know what I mean?
It's fair.
Where are the benefits?
The benefits. I mean, the minus is the venting, but the benefits are that people get caught cheating. Caught, motherfucker.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yes.
So it's the same platform.
You out yourself.
It's the same platform. You know what I did do one time is, I don't know if it was, I was fully venting, but I was telling somebody I wanted a raise, and I did accidentally send that to a boss, but I did get that raise.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I'm working pretty hard right here. Like, I think I really deserve a raise. What do you think? And I was texting like an assistant manager, but they had a very similar name. And it absolutely just went straight to the manager. So I felt like I didn't have the gusto to say it straight.
Yeah.
And then, but it got sent to the right person. And then they were like, yeah, it sounds about right. You have been putting in a lot of work. And I'm like, yeah.
That is funny.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's only ever happened one time. I can't remember what I was doing. That was a long time ago.
One of many jobs.
One of many jobs. Yeah.
Is that the one you got fired because you put jubes or Skittles in your bra?
Oh my God. Do you remember that? No, I was an accountant.
Of course I remember.
I had never done accounting. I was an accountant for Cam Clark Ford when I did the jubes as nipples.
None of that was meant to be.
From that one. I got fired from that one.
They
look like nipples though. I mean, whatever. It's totally funny.
Worth it.
I know if Laurie was there, she'd be like, sweet, sweet candy.
Yeah, I would have been like, that's funny. Also, offer me that snack. Like that would have been a win-win for me. I wouldn't have told on you.
The office thought like
I would have loved it. But I get how if you don't have a sense of humor like us, that's without a doubt sexual harassment.
There's pictures somewhere. Yeah, I took pictures of it. It was definitely sexual harassment. Yeah. God, I've been fired a lot now that I think about it.
It was all leading you. God bless the broken road that led you straight to True Grit.
Did you learn that when you went to Candle Church?
No, that's Rascal Flatts' little ditty, Country. You would not know, Krissy. That is not your jam.
I would not. I mean, if we were at a jamboree, I would take part.
Oh, they're fun.
But right, like I'm like, I don't enjoy country music, and I get that there's a lot of options in it. I've heard it.
Well,
it's not my thing.
There is, but there's not. Country,
there's like new country,
yeah.
You know, rap has been getting into country. Like Travis Scott does kind of like a country thing, doesn't he?
Remember when Nelly and Tim McGraw partnered up?
Oh,
15 years ago, maybe 20 now. No, how old am I? No, not. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Maybe it was 20 years ago. I was like, there's no way that would have me as 10 years old. And then I'm like, no, you're not 30.
I can never do the math on such things. It's a good thing we have an accountant here that once got fired from accounting.
Yeah, good thing we have a full-blown accountant.
Would you like me to add that up? Put a jube on here so I'm distracting that my numbers are wrong.
Get in your uniforms so you can really take it on.
Those numbers don't add up, but look at this. You're right, they do.
Shocking it didn't work. It's shocking it didn't work.
All right,
I'm really curious to see how this goes. Stanley Cups.
Also, you got to fill me in.
Amazing.
I thought you meant the Stanley Cup, like the hockey Stanley Cup. And then I was like, no, she said cups. And then I remembered seeing something in passing about a kid getting bullied because they had a pretend Stanley Cup or not a Stanley Cup, but it was literally in passing. And my brain was like, no, thank you. And I moved on. So there must be really something to this.
So it's like, remember the craze of Beanie Babies and
yes.
Cabbage Patch Kids or whatever the hell. Is that what they were called? Cabbage Patch?
Yes. Absolutely.
It's like that, but for a mug.
Really?
Like people getting elbowed when there's limited edition colors. That's selling online for thousands of dollars if you get like certain ones for a mug, which keep in mind, Stanley as a manufacturer has been around forever.
Ages.
So like Flintstones, you know how they all of a sudden became the thing and then everyone had them, but they've been around forever. So for example, they made 750 million in 2023, and it's like the years previously they made 75 million. So their revenues went up 10 times because of one viral TikTok video that started the masses going into hysteria over a mug.
What's the viral TikTok video?
Yeah, what's the TikTok? I'm curious.
I honestly haven't even watched it. I just know that there was somebody that clearly was like, this is the best mug ever. And then everyone's like, I must.
What if they watch the Beanie Baby movie, which I highly recommend? It was so good, of like how the Beanie Babies became that whole like strategy behind making them and it's Zach Galifianakis plays the main guy. But I'm like, did they watch that? Because that came out a couple of years ago. And then they were like, all right, I'm going to try this.
This is the thing. Like, well, I guess actually it could be a plant because I'm like, for this brand, it's like at any point a brand gets endorsed by the right person. Yeah. And then it goes viral. It's like you didn't
so it's just a coffee to go mug.
Think of it like Yetis, Swells, keeps your drink insulated. It's got a big straw and they're huge. So that's why there's like parody videos of them. You know, those big water coolers, like people trying to like drink out of those in their car, being like, "Got my new Stanley," because they are like they do seem a bit impractical. They're everywhere at the gym.
I need to look one up.
Like I'm everywhere at the gym. I am a peasant at the gym because I use my shaker cup with the label that's like been washed a million times. So who the fuck knows what it says? But I'm like, everyone has these ridiculous, like they don't seem.
I can't afford it. The Stanley is so expensive.
How much are they?
They're like sometimes upwards of like $100
for a
not cheap. But
mug?
If you go to Value Village, sometimes you can get real good ones that are a little bit cracked but still very useful. Just a tip.
Why not just buy a no-name brand that's just as good for $20, $50?
Because they last forever. I mean, like, I feel like
but they're cracked. You just mentioned they're cracked ones at Value Village.
There is cracked ones at Value Village.
Yeah, but then they're not lasting forever.
You're right.
It
I
just-
mean, I don't know what happened to those crack ones, but maybe something. But I do know that the Stanley, like the classic Stanley, when you think about it, is
Right.
your dad back in the 30s going to work with his Stanley cup because it was the most affordable thing at the time. And you can do
okay.
like soup, you can do coffee, and then the top of the Stanley, which made it so practical, is that it was a coffee cup.
Okay, I'm looking
And so
it
you
up.
could pour your Stanley coffee into the lid, and that was your cup, and that would stay warm too. And that's what made it so cool back then, from what I remember. And
Oh,
that
yeah.
cup still gets used today. You know what I mean? Like that's why they said Stanley was like so hip and happening. It was
But
like
now it's not even the coffee.
every man's. Yeah.
Okay,
It's like-
40 to $60 is what they're looking like with what I'm seeing.
Right.
Well,
Yeah. Which
but-
isn't terrible.
No, that's kind of just the same price as like a Yeti and those things would be. But what I hear you saying, I think what I hear you saying is that yes, those are like the standard like gray, but they have got this whole world that's been attached to that's created this like mania around getting or paying exorbitant
Stanley.
amounts or
There
ridiculous.
was
because it has a stripe in it,
Galentine's
let's say.
ones that ended up at
Yeah.
Target on December 31st. And you'd think like Galentine's, it's all about celebrating togetherness and our friends. And it's like people are taking elbows at Target. It's just
It's all about coming together with humanity and empathy and kindness. People are just like jaw dropping each other.
it's like I have definitely there's many things I own that's because of that influence, but it's fascinating to watch it in real time. And I think the speed it happens now because of social media. Like I'm not kidding. Almost
Right.
every single person in my gym has this mug. They are quite literally everywhere. And the fact that it is causing people to do that same shit that we've seen other fads do that never pays off. Like some of them are selling on StockX, which is where you would get like Jordan shoes and things and limited edition and collectors for thousands of dollars for certain colorways.
Oh my
of them.
God. That's terrible.
People
You know what's going to happen?
have a lot
You
of
know what's gonna
sense.
happen? All the people at NFL games hating Taylor Swift are going to be
My
like,
God.
see, now they're into Stanley mugs. See what's happening to the
Imagine
world?
if she brought one while she kissed her boyfriend.
Oh shit.
Oh my God.
Maybe that's what it was.
Oh my God.
Maybe T Swift was at an NFL game.
Heads
Is it called
will
an NFL
roll.
or an NHL.
Nope. Even
That's
I
a different
know that.
song. Heads will roll is by
Oh,
somebody else.
but
not
the
T Swift.
Stanley is affiliated with NHL in its own right, even though that Stanley's not. So I can see where
'Cause of-
the
How is
just
it
some
affiliated?
sports
'Cause of
trivia
men?
for all you listeners
Oh.
out there.
Tell me more.
I'm really liking these hot take debates.
Me too.
And also just like bringing you up to I don't like go looking for these things, but because so much of my job is in social media and I have to research, like I go on Google Trends and see what's researching or what's trending every day. So I'll look in the
yeah.
United States, look in Canada, and you can see in real time what people are searching for and what percentage it's gone up for in search. And that's how you kind of craft what you're going to speak to, because in order to get organic reach, you need to align with what people are looking for. But that's
Right.
kind of where I get these nuggets.
I could never do that job because when if I had to search that on the daily, it would drain all my faith in humanity. Every time I had to look at what people are trending and searching, I would have been like, we're done for. What's the point?
Some of them are funny. Like you're just like, humans are hilarious. What gets going?
Oh,
They are hilarious.
Right?
It's funny too because, you know, my
Such a
partner, she's
bizarre
22. And then my brother's 19, and they're constantly joking around about these little quips. And I'm like, what are you guys even saying to each other right now? Like this morning, 2 things came up, and I was like, what is that? And it's just the internet. They're just on the internet.
You
and
need
they
to
say
start-
things, and they
you need to start
Just out
polling
of the
those
loop.
for questions to see if we
Definitely.
know. And then also what we think it is. And then we'll Google
Right.
what it actually is, and that'll be part of our off-roading. And we'll call it like a little section, like what are the young kids talking about?
Well,
And
I can
then
tell you in
my little
lifestyle.
brother, he did this thing. He was like, W in the wheel. And I was like,
Sorry, what? W in the
he he said this thing. He said this thing. Here, watch this. Watch. I'll get him. He'll know. Watch. See?
Okay.
Watch this.
Yes. Bring him on.
Let's just do this.
While we're
Let's
on a
just do this for a
stroll,
second.
Valentine's candy salad is one of the top current searches.
Valentine's
I
candy
wonder-
salad?
Okay, Lori's like,
Okay, let's see.
perplexed,
See if
but
my
tell me
brother knows
more.
it. Johnny,
This
can you,
is
okay, I'm
my
gonna put
kind
my
of
brother on.
trend.
Can you put this mic in for a second? Okay, ready? Johnny, what did you say?
What
What did you say?
What did you say, Johnny? What's the young
Yeah.
people thing that you said
This
earlier
morning,
today?
what did you say
What's
about
the young
W?
person thing you said?
About the
Prompt him
W.
with what you said, the non-English thing you said, Richelle.
he said, the W in the wow.
Oh, W's in the shot.
Say it again.
What is
We didn't
that?
hear what he said.
Okay, say it again.
W's in the chat.
W's in the chat.
W's it women? Wombats? Who's in the chat?
Wicker furniture.
Win. Like win and W.
Oh, I can't hear you. We can't hear you.
I think the speaker's
can't
on
hear
yours, Richelle. You gotta.
You have the speaker, Richelle. The young. Oh, there you are.
So what does it mean?
Yeah. What does it mean?
W? Win.
Yeah.
Win?
It's like
Win?
win. Yeah, it's just like it's a bit hard to explain, but yeah, basically it's just like
We've got
something
time.
good happens, you can put a W.
You can put a W.
Oh, like a win. Like win is in the chat.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe you can help us. Somebody commented something on the Motovation, and I was like, "Is this good or bad?" So now you can tell me because I've not known how
You're
to
a young
respond.
person
One more
translator.
Yes, stand by because I will find. I have to go to all comments here.
So if someone said something where they achieved something in the chat, you'd go, "Win is in the chat." Is that where you'd use it? Is it no? Is it different?
No, so it's kind of used like more in like if you're watching someone on streaming and something happens, or you can it's just I guess like if something good is happening on a stream, you can put a W in the chat. It's like a
Like if I beat Bowser in Super Mario
It's kinda-
World and it was epic, you would be like,
yeah,
W in
you
the
would
chat.
get W's.
Yeah, okay, I
Yeah,
get
you'd
it.
get
I get
Ws.
it.
You see why it's
Question.
hard
Yeah.
for us older people to like get this stuff because
So
you guys
we-
even have a hard time explaining it.
So I
Yeah,
do
yeah.
need clarity on one. So we posted this video that was doing really well, lots of lovely comments, and then someone posted, "Where is the lie though?" with like a rock on and a fire. What do they mean?
What's say? Where's the live-o?
Yeah, where is
Is
the
that what you're
lie
saying?
though?
The lie, like you're telling a lie.
Yeah.
Oh, where's the lie though?
Okay, that's okay. So I think I would have to see like the post to get context on that.
Okay, so the context I can give you because it's fast, but basically it
Mhm.
says like them, it's so much harder to make new friends as you get older. Us, have you tried motorcycles? And most of the comments have been like, yeah, it's the best. Da da da. That's how we make friends.
Okay, yeah, I get that now. So where the lie though is kind of like it is a good thing because it's basically saying it's another way of saying it's super true. Like where's the lie though at? There's no like you can't see the lie. There's no lie.
Oh,
So it's like a truth to it.
that makes sense.
That's like the first time somebody sent me the baseball cap and they're like, you be capping. And I was like, oh no, I'm going to have to Google this. You know,
Go
you're
ahead,
part of
Michelle.
this regular segment.
Thank you. We're going to call you in for all of these episodes, and we're going to have
We
questions.
said we're gonna call you in
answer.
to bring in
1,000%. I think this should be a segment for when
It's
we
time
need
to ask the
clarity.
young folks.
1,000%.
They know. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks for keeping us cool.
Thanks for keeping us on the fly, on the up and up. They always do. They're always saying things. Danae has to send me these updates on new lingo that's coming in. You know how you like abbreviate things like FN, which means like for now, or like GTO, like get the fuck out or whatever. So she sends me these little updates on, so that way when they use them, I'll know what they're saying.
Can she make this a communal newsletter? Because I
Yes.
am finding this problem now that I like expanded into YouTube,
Mhm.
there's a lot of a demographic younger than me that speaks a different language. And I actually have to spend time Googling because you want to engage with people that have commented. But even that one that ended up on the Motovation, I was like, well, there's a fire emoji and rock on. So I don't think they're like saying something bad, but I also don't understand what they're saying
Well,
and therefore don't know how to respond.
You know, my apprentice, for the longest time, when I would ask her about something, I'd be like, okay, so like, I think, like, did you want to go out for dinner tonight? And she'd be like, say less. And I'd be like, well,
which means hell yeah. I know.
Yeah,
I
like,
do
I was
know
like,
that
I'm
one.
not sure how else to say less about that. Like, cause so then I was like, dinner tonight, you know, like,
Din?
but it's so aged. So I said it the other day thinking that it was like in, and then Johnny and Danae were like, that's so 5 years ago. And I was like, oh, every time something new comes up and I hear them say something, I'll be like, you guys, what does that mean? And then I'll put it in the chat.
Excellent.
Ask them if people are still saying like dope on a rope.
Chat for Krissy. No, I could ask.
Check it out. Be like, but make sure you present it well. Like, do people still say dope on a rope and really hang it there?
I've
Say
never
less,
heard
Laurie.
that
Say less.
No one's ever said that ever. I want to see if it'll infiltrate and become a thing.
It can
Dope
be
on a
our
rope?
thing. Dope on a
Well,
rope.
no, just Richelle, casually slip that in and put your camera on. Like, just have your camera on the counter so they can't see. And just be like talking,
God, so
and then wait till they say something like, "Holy shit, dope on a rope," and see their reaction. See if they have a reaction.
Be like, you don't know,
and then send it to us.
Okay.
That's your
With
mission.
a video or a voice note?
Definitely
a video so that you can see their faces like dope on a rope.
Okay, I'm gonna do my third question because I'm so curious. If we all separately got lost in the forest, because this has happened to me before, and so Krissy, you have to choose me or Laurie. Laurie, you have to choose me or Krissy, and then I have to choose one of you two. Who would you choose to be with you to get you back to civilization? Now we're cutthroat on each other.
This was a hard one.
It was like, it's so easy for me. I'm going to go with the one that like didn't think that Edmonton was in Eastern Canada or something. That's not a direct example, but like Laurie's geography, I just don't have as much.
I didn't think Edmonton was in East Canada.
I know that.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. I said that's not the exact reference.
I see. Yeah.
It was the geography, I know, was a bit of a struggle bus. And so I would have less
bit of a struggle bus,
would ever make it out alive. Like, and I don't think I would fare well surviving on twigs and bugs forever. So as much as I know with Laurie, it would be like a hilarious adventure. Like when I was getting stressed, she'd be like, let's co-regulate, and we'd breathe through it. Like it would be very guidance. But like, I feel like Richelle would just somehow climb a tree and flag down a helicopter, and somehow we would be saved.
Right.
You know,
yes. Mine was
like,
hard because
for the forest animal, like Richelle would be like, "This is my squirrel that's now," and it like gathers our like nuts and feast for us. It's like so much love to both, but the
Dr. Doolittle out there.
Well, we definitely wouldn't be. I don't know if you'd be like swimming to the next island. That geography would be necessarily in your like, because whoever's saving us, technically, hopefully, they know their geography. They won't have to rely on it. So that wasn't in my radar, but it's a good point. So Krissy, you're very much a doer, but Richelle, you're very resourceful. So that's where I was like, well, I'm a doer. So if you were resourceful, I could be the doer. And just that of like the like random luck with things in a great way. It's not luck. It's like manifestation. Krissy has that too, though.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. I think I'd have to go with you, Richelle, only because of like, you're good in random situations and environments. Do you know? You've lived a life. And I feel like you'd be like
silent.
I don't know if you said anything. You're in deep offense.
Like We need to be on an island. Yeah, we should try this one.
I thought that's what we were.
Yeah.
Were we not stranded on an island, or where were we?
Yeah,
I was in the
stranded.
forest.
Oh,
We're in a forest. Yeah,
oh,
we're
in a forest. Sorry, I'm thinking an island. That's why I was thinking the geography. I was like, I don't know if we need it. I'm hoping the person picks us up does. In a forest. Oh,
Say we all just like went camping and we were like, let's just be wild, but then we lose. Something,
definitely like, Krissy. 100% Krissy then in the forest. Yes. 100% without a doubt. And sorry, I heard that and read that wrong. Why I totally changed that theme is because Krissy has camped more and will know to pay more attention to the small things like babbling brooks, and then have like random information, like those usually lead to like some sort of water source for this little community in town. So if we follow this and blah, 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 blah. Whereas I feel like you'd be like, let's just listen to the wind and then the wind will tell us. I like that for the island because that's all we've got. It's really all we've got.
I mean, in fairness, like, no matter where we're stranded, I can take bug bites like a champ, and so can you.
Yeah.
Because Laurie and I were in a room with no screen in Belize, and I was reading my Kindle before bed and saw the first little sand flea attracted to the light. And I was like, I know enough that if I see one, there are many. And I had hundreds.
Not look like we had diseases on the back of our legs.
Yeah, it did. It looked like
we still have scars. You have scars, do you not?
I don't know. Like, I'm sure probably if I really looked on my I had so many back there, but I'm like, me and my waxing esthetician are the only people that are staring at my butt and butthole. I mean, not really? Me. I'm not staring at my butthole. Gav sees my butthole.
Staring at my butthole. I'm flexible. Real flexible.
That's why I started yoga. Only so that I could look at my butthole whenever.
I want to know all my orifices intimately.
Like, why is it so folded back there like origami? Buttholes are funny.
Well, my friends, that's your motivation.
Only for the butthole thing.
You just went off-roading with the Motovation Podcast, hosted by Laurie Joy Kingwell and myself, Krissy Vann.
And of course, a special thank you to Richelle from True Grit Moto. Whoop, boss it. Never miss an episode by hitting like or subscribe. Connect with us on Instagram at Motovation Podcast and visit our website at themotivation.com. And in the meantime, full pegs, full throttle.
I think this is good though. It's like healthy, you know? Like people will be like, oh my God, I don't floss.
It's supposed to be so hard not to laugh to get through this intro.